Mesa police officer Lauren Craven was handcuffed during his arraignment hearing today. More from inside the courtroom.
A park just dedicated to fallen officer Austin Machatar vandalized overnight. The damage caused and a message from police.
And let this line be a reflection of the need for food assistance in our community. It comes as CalFresh benefits are set to be delayed due to the government shutdown.
A Navy man who sexually assaulted and murdered a San Diego State student 50 years ago in this dormitory behind me is now up for parole.
8 decades later, a World War II hero is finally home.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now. We are getting our first look tonight at the man accused of driving drunk and hitting and killing La Mesa police officer Lauren Craven. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
And I'm Jenny Day in tonight for Carlo. Antonio Alcantar answered to the charges in court today where there was actually some high drama. CBS 8's Alex Cheney was inside the courtroom and joins us live to break down what happened. Alex.
Well, Jenny, it was a packed courtroom as I saw at least about 20 uniformed officers from the La Mesa Police Department inside of the courtroom, which just goes to show you the impact that Lauren Craven's death had on a very tight-knit police department. And they were all there today to see 38-year-old Antonio Alcantar, who was out on $110,000 bail. However, the judge changed that today, and she remanded Alcantar, and the officer in the courtroom put him in handcuffs. Take a look.
$1 million is sufficient to reasonably ensure public safety in this matter, given that the defendant does not have a criminal history.
That was the moment in court today when the judge remanded Alcantar out of a concern for public safety. Defense attorneys say Alcantar is a 11-year Navy veteran. He is a master at arms, which is a police officer for the military. He has no prior arrests and has no record of prior issues in his military service.
This is not a person who would ever go out and intentionally harm somebody. This is not a person that went out and targeted police officers or thought that he was going to hurt a police officer or anyone.
The district attorney says video from a car that was driving behind Alcantar shows he did not brake, did not change lanes, or otherwise at all try to avoid Officer Craven with her emergency lights on at the crash scene.
That's why he's been charged.
The DA asked for $5 million bail, but the judge lowered it to $1 million. The DA said Alcantar's blood alcohol content was 0.16, and that was an hour after driving. He is charged with murder and gross vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated for the death of Officer Craven. He could still be held responsible for another death in the crash, but that investigation is ongoing. The judge ruled Alcantar to be remanded because she felt while he's not a flight risk, he is a danger to the public.
Specifically with this individual and their military background, we felt that that was the safest thing for the community of San Diego, that he be remanded into the custody of the sheriffs, and the court agreed.
The judge also said that if Alcantar is able to make that $1 million bail, he will not be able to drive any type of motor vehicle for the duration of the trial. His next court appearance is set for December 3rd. Back over to you.
Thanks, Alex. Tonight, the intersection where an 11-year-old boy was hit and killed by a car last week now has new stop signs. The city of San Diego installed them today at Jackson Drive and Lake Baden Avenue in San Carlos. Last Monday, Andrew Olson and his 2 sisters were walking to Pershing Middle School when a car hit them as they crossed the street. Andrew died and his sisters were both injured. The driver of the car was not criminally charged and told police that he was blinded by the morning sun and never even saw the kids. A tribute to a fallen officer defaced, and now San Diego police are working to find those responsible for vandalizing a Claremont Park overnight, just renamed in honor of Officer Austin Machatar.
Yeah, CBS 8's Shannon Handy was there at the scene this morning. She has more on the damage and the stern message from Police Chief Scott Wall. A warning to our viewers, some of the images are graphic.
Officers discovered the vandalism when they were driving down Genesee this morning. Police Chief Scott Wall tells me his department is taking this very seriously. It's not just about the damage caused, but the evil it represents.
Well, I'll tell you what, Shannon, I'm pissed.
San Diego Police Chief Scott Wall did not mince words when describing how he feels seeing a memorial for one of his fallen officers destroyed.
Our officers are out here working day in and day out to protect and serve. To come out here and see an officer that has died in the line of duty, this type of disrespect, it's crossed every boundary that you can imagine.
In August of 2024, Austin Machitar was patrolling Claremont when a teenager who was being pursued slammed into his vehicle. He was just 30 years old. This past Sunday, hundreds of people, including Machitar's family, gathered to rename the park in his honor and unveil the new sign. It was surrounded by planted flowers and had his badge number etched into it. All of that is now gone. The number was chipped away and covered with the popular slang term 6-7. San Diego Police Officers Association President Jared Wilson said what happened here is more than just a prank.
It's very detailed. Every single flower that was planted, which is over 20, was ripped up and removed. Every single little piece of stone was ripped up and removed. They took time and effort to do this.
SDPOA paid for the sign, which cost $12,000. An online fundraiser is now underway to buy a new one. Combined with other vandalism done throughout the park, the damage is estimated at $100,000. Meantime, as crews tried to clean up what they could this morning, detectives collected evidence. Crime Stoppers is offering a $1,500 reward for information leading to an arrest. This case is being treated as more than vandalism, but something personal.
If this was your child that gave his life in the line for the city, to put that on the sign, how dare someone do something like this?
It's hard to put into words just how frustrating we all are to see something like this happen.
Shannon Handy, CBS 8.
And we do have a link to that fundraiser on our website, cbs8.com.
With no end in sight to the government shutdown, 400,000 San Diegans will lose access to food assistance starting on Saturday. The delays to CalFresh benefits will impact how many families get food on the table.
Yeah, but generous nonprofits are stepping up. I was able to see the tremendous need there in Escondido today and speak with local leaders about the help that is available.
CalFresh benefits will be delayed starting Saturday. So in response, Interfaith Community Services and Feeding San Diego have set up this emergency food distribution, providing groceries and supplies to those in need.
Definitely uncertain times right now. And because we don't know what's coming next, now is the time to work towards protecting the individuals in our community that are in need of it most.
This long line is no doubt a reflection of how many people rely on food assistance. Again, close to 400,000 people here in San Diego rely on federal funds to feed their families. That includes seniors and children.
Really, with food, we're concerned about the quality and the quantity. Parents skipping meals, that is very real, so that their kids can have food, and that's not okay for us.
Feeding San Diego rescues surplus food from local and national food donors before it goes to waste and gets it to people facing hunger.
The best way to support a hunger relief organization is through a monetary donation. Food right now is so expensive. If you go out to a grocery store and you buy, just even a few items for your local food bank, you're going to spend way more than what we can do with that dollar. So every $1 helps provide 2 meals, and that's matched right now.
The food bank also remains fully operational and committed to providing access to food during these tight times. We've put their food locator map on our website. County leaders say 211 is another helpful resource.
When families lose access to food assistance, the impact does not stop at the dinner table. They fall behind on rent, on medications, on car payments. They take on more personal debt just to get by. This puts housing, health, and the overall stability of working and middle-class families in our region at very serious risk.
And finally, know that the grocery outlets in Chula Vista and Poway are also looking to bring some relief to families. All of November, they will be offering a 10% discount to EBT cardholders as our lawmakers work to reopen the government.
But I'm ready to negotiate with anyone, anytime, of either party in good faith to end this shutdown and make sure that no family in this country has to worry about their next meal.
And you can make a difference by helping the San Diego Food Bank and other organizations continue to operate amid the shutdown. If you would like to help fight food insecurity and more across the San Diego region, consider making a donation to the San Diego Unity Fund. We have all of that information you need on cbs8.com. Just click the help button. Well, a former Navy man convicted of murdering a San Diego State University student more than 5 decades ago is set for a parole hearing next week. The victim, Tanya Gardini, was sexually assaulted and strangled to death in a dorm on campus in 1974.
As CBS 8's David Gottfredson reports, the inmate has been denied parole at least 7 times.
Ellis Handy has spent more than 50 years in prison after pleading guilty to sexually assaulting and murdering a freshman San Diego State student in 1974 inside her second-floor room at the Zura Hall dormitory on campus. 18-year-old Tanya Gardini was found by her roommate, partially clothed, strangled to death, and stabbed multiple times with a pencil, according to court records.
About 3 weeks ago, the victim and the suspect casually met at the dormitory. He was there visiting other people. They were introduced, and to our knowledge, they had absolutely no relationship after that one meeting.
Handy was age 21 and in the Navy at the time of the murder. He's now age 72, housed at a prison in Northern California. He's been denied parole at least 7 times, but his attorneys are hoping he'll be granted parole next week, in part because he was under the age of 26 when he committed the crime. Mr. Handy has shown growth and rehabilitation, indeed transformation, while serving his sentence. He does not deny his past actions on that day, his attorneys wrote in advance of his 2022 parole hearing. The editor of the Daily Aztec newspaper showed me archive articles from 1974 detailing the subsequent increase in security at all dormitories on campus following the murder. Zura Hall was completely renovated in 2015.
We definitely have high security in here. We have to check in every guest with their either real ID or student ID.
Freshman Ella McClure lives in Zura Hall and had not heard about the murder. The criminal justice major says she's opposed to the killer being paroled.
It doesn't really make sense to me that someone's life could be taken away at such a young age, then someone just has the possibility of walking free after that.
A prosecutor from the San Diego DA's office will appear at that parole hearing next week to oppose Handy's parole. It's unclear whether any relatives of the victim or the inmate will speak. We'll let you know what happens. At San Diego State, David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Keep us posted, David. Thank you. Well, there is new scrutiny tonight about the response to a fire investigators say later became the deadly Palisades fire.
We'll have those details still ahead, plus more than 8 decades after a U.S. soldier was killed in World War II. His remains are finally heading home.
But first, a widely unexpected sight right off of San Diego's coast. You got to see this.
Even though our temperatures were not as hot as they were yesterday because we had a whole lot more records, we were still dealing with some record heat in our county. We set a new record today for Ramona as well as Campo and tied that previous record. Still talking about those 90s for Borrego Springs. We'll take a look at the cool down that's in store for next week coming up.